I made $7. Maybe I could go get a cup of coffee. That's an option.
Oh, hey, welcome back to the channel. I got that coffee I was mentioning, and I got something else for you. That AUD USD trade, you know, the one that I filled last time that, kind of went against me and bought me this coffee. Well, it turned out to be a little bit bigger of a story than what you saw last time. Come on in, I'll show you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another live trading video. I'm taking a look here at AUD USD, and I just picked up a short position here just a few minutes ago and shared it inside of our private Discord channel. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is live trading, meaning these are real trades. This is on a real brokerage account. I know it's not, 50 lots or anything crazy like that, but it is real money and it is real trading. And whether this trade is a winner or a loser, I'll be putting it up on YouTube for you to watch start to finish. So if you'd like to see what a real trade may look like for someone, I'm going to pat myself on the back here, but I've been doing this for about 6 years, and this is what a real trade looks like to me. Again, whether this trade is real or profitable or not, it is a real trade. So with that said, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to explain the entry here first, and then I will pause the video and give it some time to actually play out. So I just took this trade just a few minutes ago, and my initial goal here is to risk 20 pips. So I'm risking 20 pips here on AUD USD. I picked up a short position just a moment ago, and my lot size is 0.55 or 55,000 units on the short side. So I took a sell trade. So what's the reasoning behind the trade? Well, there's a couple different features, but one of the main things, actually one of the easiest ways to do this is just to pull up the trade alert that I shared. So let me do that. So here's the trade alert that I sent inside of the group. In terms of technical analysis, you can see the picture that I shared. Here's the entry right as I sent it. So I said retest of a resistance level, the 50% retracement, a downtrend structure on the 4-hour and daily chart, and a strong overall US dollar right now. Fundamental analysis, inflation numbers actually came out this morning, which were quite high from the US, which initially caused some volatility. And my idea here is that I said this could lead to the Fed basically continuing its aggressive tightening stance on monetary policy to combat that high inflation figure, right? So that could cause some dollar strength overall. That's my idea, at least. I've been dollar positive or dollar bullish for the last several months, so we'll see if that can continue, and could even pressure them to consider rate hikes sooner than expected. So overall, dollar bullish position, and now my stance is clear with an AUD USD short. So there was the entry. So I just shared, like I said, the picture, the entry level, my stop loss, and I don't have a take profit, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So with every trade that I usually take in my trend following concept, my strategy is this: I take a trade, I have a stop loss, and if price goes against me, I'll just stop out and take a very small loss. This is not going to break the bank. It's not the end of the world, and it won't damage the account that much. So worst case is not that bad. Best case, however, is what if this thing decides to actually play out to my analysis and trends and trends and trends lower? That would be the ideal scenario. So I'm floating $36 on the trade, which is not a bad start considering I just took the position. But again, price came up to this zone here that I mentioned in the trade alert that was shared in Discord, and so far has started already making its move back down. Now we'll see if that can continue, but my goal here is to not necessarily take profit. I guess I could set a take profit if I want, maybe something like this would be reasonable. But for me, what I like to do is I like to lock in profit with my trailing stop loss. So if price moves down, my goal is to take this stop loss and to move it to break even. And then if it keeps going down, then I will look to trail my stop further. And you may ask, well, when do you know when to trail stops? I like to use price action and structure to make that decision. So a couple areas of interest, we can mark some support here and support here. So I would love to see price get down to those levels before trying to move my stop loss, because from there, maybe we do see just a bounce back up. And in that case, I'll just protect the trade, take a break even and move on. But best case scenario would be it keeps dropping, breaks through support, and continues the trend that we saw on the higher time frames, like I mentioned in my trade post to members. So I said my 4-hour chart here looks pretty bearish. You can see I've been shorting this. I took a short here, covered here, took a short here, covered here, and now looking to take another short within the VIP group. So we'll see if that can play out. So again, that is the entry. That's the idea so far. Here's a 1-hour view of the position again. And again, my goal is to keep the stop loss on initially, but hopefully be able to take my risk off the table and continue to trail my stop into profit and maybe even catch a nice winner. So with that said, I'll pause the video, sitting at $47 of profit open right now, and we'll give it some time to play out and come back soon. All right, guys, and just like that, price actually dropped really fast on AUD USD, much better than I was expecting it to do, but hey, sometimes the market does some crazy stuff. So there was my entry. Like I said before, I entered on this candle here on the previous bar, and sure enough, that pullback was just met with a lot of sell pressure, which I guess a lot of people had the same idea as I did. But I am floating $137 of profit here on the trade right now. Part of me wants to just say, maybe I should just close out of the trade and take profit now so that I can just be done. But again, my trading strategy has been something that I've been working on for a long time, or it's been something I've been working with for a long time, and I trust the process. I know that at the end of the day, even if this trade comes all the way back and tags me out for break even, which I have now trailed my stop loss to break even, you know, that's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is every once in a while I get a trade like this and it just drops way more. So I am looking to trail stops here. I'm not going to be greedy and just grab money just because I see it. I'm going to let this trade play out and try and use patience to let this market do the most that it's willing to do. So again, floating $130. I just made an update to the members inside of the group that I just moved my stop loss to break even, and shout out to anybody else who was short on that move. Really nice little drop there on AUD USD. All right, guys, and things are looking really good on this AUD USD position. I just got back from lunch, and sure enough, the last few hours we have seen continued downside. So that level that I marked seemed to have been a really nice entry. And I just want to take this opportunity to say that, you know, if you watch enough of my trading videos, you'll notice that there are times where I take an entry and then immediately the market just goes against me and stops me out very quickly. There are other times where things go nowhere for a while and then they drop, or they go nowhere for a while and then they rally. But in the end, the nature of my trading is that sometimes I get it really, really right. Sometimes, and most times, it's break even or not right. But the goal here is not to be right every time. The goal is, like in this scenario, we've got something here. So we've obviously found a level that worked out very well. That level of resistance was beautiful, and sellers came in heavy on that, which is perfect. But now is the part where actually things start to really matter, because now it's not about, you know, okay, obviously the entry was good, right? There's no dispute there. It was a good entry. But how do we manage the trade from here? What do we do to make sure that this trade gives us the maximal amount of profit? Well, there's a double-edged sword, because if I move this stop loss down, which I have done, the risk that I'm taking is that this thing could pop up, tag me out, and then drop further, right? And that has happened to me more than once. Trust me, I've been trading for a long time. You name something happened, I've seen it probably. So anyways, the point here is that I have chosen to do that, and that is the risk that I'm taking. With any action that you take in trading, there's an upside and a downside. The downside is that I'm risking possibly getting tagged out before price continues lower. Now, the upside is that I am locking in some profit on the trade. At this point, the worst case scenario is I think I make around $110, which is a great possibility as the worst possible scenario. I'm floating around $230 here. So my goal here ideally would not be to see this thing stop out. Ideally, we could see this thing continue to trend lower. And again, trend here to the downside is in our favor. So I'm just looking for some follow through. If we get follow through, I will continue to trail this stop and follow price down using price action, which is part of the trading concept here that I had here. So again, this area marked in green, I'm actually using this structure as a barrier for a level of resistance. So if price comes all the way up here, I'm hoping to see sellers resume before it gets up to this point. Otherwise, I will take that as my signal to exit the trade and take my profit. So that's where I'm at. I just shared this alert with members, or the update on my trade here, so you can see the trade, the update that I made here, just so traders can see the way I'm thinking throughout the trade inside of the group. So again, that will be there for those of you guys who are members. That's where you can find my trades all the time. And if you're not yet a member, there is your information down below in the description if you'd like to join us. So with that said, I'll pause the video, give it some more time, and we'll come back soon. And there it goes again, you guys. AUD USD continuing to trail lower here. And I've just moved my stop loss into about $200 or so, give or take, of profit locked in on this position. This has kind of been a crazy trade all to happen in one single day. Usually when I film these for you guys, they take me a couple days to like really get anything going, because most of the time the market, you know, spends a lot of time back and forth and not making a decision. But today with this trade, we've got a lot more decision than I even thought we were going to get, which is a lot of sell side action.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
So I'm currently floating. If we zoom in right here, you can see I'm up $345 on the trade. And that is a pretty crazy move for a single day. Like I said, you know, $345 is not so bad, especially usually when I take these trades, I take them on more than one account. And so I'm up overall, I think about $600, $700 today on this one move, which is pretty dang good. I will definitely take it. Not going to complain about that. So as I mentioned, I did move my stop loss a little into profit here, or a little bit more into profit. We were already in profit. Now we are locking in a bit more on the trade. So what I've done is I basically said, okay, price was finding some level of support here. You can see we bounced off that once here and a little bit there. That was a little bit of a hesitation point. But then with this recent price action, this candle right here closed nice beneath it. And I basically use that now as my checkpoint. So what I mean by that is this level of structure was broken to the downside. So that's showing, okay, bears are in control at this level for now. If that changes, if things start to reverse enough to break through that, then I'm going to go ahead and just take my profit on this trade. Again, I'm locking over $200. I think it's like $210 on this trade. So again, pretty good spot to be in a worst case scenario from here. At this point, it is no longer whether or not the market will pay me. It's just whether or not how much the market wants to actually offer me here. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to not get greedy and take my profit just because I see a number. Because remember, had we done that earlier, we might have taken $100. You know, it's one of those things you got to be, at least in my trading style and strategy, I definitely have to employ enough discipline to hold on to a winner in case, you know, this thing wants to continue to collapse down. Who's to say, you know, it can't be down way further tomorrow? And if that is the case, of course, I'll be filming the update for you guys here, because again, this is real, true live trading. And if that's something that you like, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And with that said, I'll pause the video right now. I should also add that I did just make the notification update to members. So if you guys are one of the members in there, then you should have already seen an alert come out from myself on this trade update. So we are locked in and just going to continue to let it trail. And there it goes again, you guys. Looking at the 1 hour chart, you can see just exactly what we were looking for here playing out on AUD USD. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy with how this trade is going. Obviously, things are going very well. We entered here just the same day. We've had just a absolute waterfall to the downside, which is the ideal scenario if you're short. So I wish I could say every trade of mine is like this, but I'm going to be completely honest and tell you that very few of my trades play out this beautifully. But again, entered back here, now running very, very nice to the downside. At this point, we are currently floating a 90, almost a 90 pip, 88 or so pips to the downside there on the trade. That is an incredible move for a single day on a currency pair like AUD USD. You might say, well, Nick, I trade gold and 88 pips is nothing. But again, remember, pips are less important than what you are risking in terms of, reward relative to your risk, right? Because you can take a different size lot size and change that. What matters more than the pip distance is really the risk that you took relative to the reward that you are currently sitting on. Speaking of that, we have actually trailed this stop yet again here, locking in at the very worst case, just about $300 on this trade. I do have this open on a second account as well, which is also floating some profits. I'm just keeping track on this trade, but towards the end, I'll show you what the ending result for both accounts was. But ending up right now, locking in 58 pips or so here, which is a beautiful, beautiful worst case scenario. So even if this thing starts to reverse, I'm actually going to be perfectly fine to take profits there. But of course, I'm not going to rush to conclusions. If this thing wants to, roll over and respect structure further and continue down, I am not going to try and stop it. I'm going to continue to trail that stop. So you might ask, where have I put my stop loss? Well, remember in the last one, we had noticed that price, check this out, by the way, our stop loss was like up here, right? Price popped up, respected the zone beautifully. And I'm telling you guys, everything in this trade is working out. And I'm not saying that to brag, because like I said earlier, not all my trades are like this. I'm not a fake guru. I'm not going to come out here and show you that, oh, I only win. No, I really don't. But this is a great trade here for me. This is something that's just working out according to plan, which sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, it's a beautiful thing. And so we're seeing this thing follow through and continue to respect market structure. So my bearish thesis in this case has played out beautifully. And you can even see the stop loss order placement that we had on the previous before this recording, this current recording, was in a good spot too. So we saw market structure respect this area, continue to drop lower, and now have been able to lock in more profit. And again, this is a great scenario or a great example as to why I don't just say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna just take profit because we've dropped, right? Had I taken profit here, I would have left more on the table. And who knows, this thing dropping like this could drop another several candles like this and be able to, trail stops further. But again, I'm not going to draw conclusions. I am not a prediction-based trader. I am a reactionary trader, meaning I am looking to trail stops, follow structure, and make money when the market allows me to. So with that said, I am going to go ahead and pause yet again and be back in the morning. It is 10 o'clock at night. I'm about to head to bed. Figured I would just do a quick update. And with that said, I'll pause and come back. And this thing just keeps rocking and rolling, you guys. You got AUD USD moving lower here into the next day here, or not the next day, the next session here, starting into the Asian session today. We are seeing this thing break out of what was sort of today's structure low. And now, again, I have moved my stop loss further into profit here, locking in a good bit of profit here. So on this account, I'm floating $570. And just to show you the other account, I am floating at the worst case if this thing closes out for a negative or not a negative, still for a profit. Worst case would be locking in 73 pips there. You can zoom in right there if you'd like, 72.9, and a profit on this trade at $284. So between the two there, we're in a very good spot. I think I'm locking in 400 here, 280 on the other. So somewhere in the neighborhood of $650 to $700 locked in the worst case scenario on this single trade.
Life's been good to me.
This has been one of my better trades this month, and really one of the better trades that I've had in the last few weeks, really. So happy to have this thing playing out the way we were hoping for. There's the entry, and now you can see it's really long gone since we've been there. And now what I've done here is I've actually trailed that stop loss just above where we swung up to earlier on in today's price action. Going into the next session, I'd like to either stop out for my profit there before Friday. It is Thursday at the time of filming this. But for now, it does seem like price wants to try and go lower. So if it wants to do that, again, that's why I have this trailing stop. I'm not just going to take profit just because I see profit. Because again, over here, I would have taken, $100 off the table and given up, in this case, a worst case of, several hundreds locked in at this point. So again, floating about a 5-to-1 now. So, my initial risk was like $100. So 570, almost a 6 times my risk position, which is a great return to be in any situation. So loving the trade so far. What we'll do is we'll pause the video, and I just sent this update to members in the Discord, so they'll be able to see what's been going on. So anytime I update the trades, I just lock them in there for everybody to see. So again, if you are in the group and you've been congrats to the fellow bears out there on AUD USD. There may be people who are playing this even better than me. I'll get messages from people who are trading it inside of the group too, but they'll trade it even better than me. They'll hold on longer, or they'll choose to take profit at a good time or something like that. So that's kind of the perks of being in the group. But anyways, information on that is down below in the description. With that said, I will pause the video and we'll come back once things get going again. All right, guys, and we are all out of AUD USD here. This is the next week. It's actually been a few days since my last update on this trade. I actually filmed this before, but unfortunately the file was not saved correctly or something like that. But just a recap of the trade here, we'll take a look at the end result. So on one of my accounts, I showed you both earlier on. One of them, I was able to take out a profit here. So we ended up, remember, getting in over here. Price came all the way down. And once I moved my stop loss, I'm glad that I did, because you can see price really started to reverse, but ended up closing out of the trade somewhere around here for a profit of $420 on the first account, and on my second account here, we'll pop up the profits for both of them, $292.89. Not a bad trade at all. Was able to capitalize on this move here, and now as price is reversing, or at least starting to pull back here, it looks like we may even get some new opportunities for more trade setups. Now, before we go, please remember that all the trades that I take, you can see inside of our private Discord community, which is linked down below in the description. And if you use that special promo code, you'll get in on that group for a discounted rate. So at the end of the day, really great trade here to the downside there on AUD USD. This one has been a really good candidate, been taking several winning trades on this currency pair, and not a bad way to go into this week. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like it, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you back next time.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.